Welcome to Cosmic Diaries. This is Priya Kali, your astrologer. Thank you as always for tuning in. And we're looking at the astrology for the week of June 27th to July 4th. And we're entering a monumental week, heading to a historic full moon in Capricorn at the end of the week on the 3rd of July. And there are major aspects developing this week, almost every day. So this is a really dense patch of astrology that we're moving through. Significantly, this full moon also coincides with Guru Purnima in the Vedic calendar, which is considered to be one of the most auspicious full moons of the year. It's a time when we honor our spiritual teachers, and all our teachers really give thanks for their blessings and grace in our life. So whatever else is unfolding in your life this week, take time to say thanks to the universe and to all your teachers and to this life, which is our greatest teacher. Also, before I get into the forecast, a quick mention. I'm currently offering a solstice sale on consultations and on the Inner Journey program until the 30th of June. If you're interested in getting a reading for a more in-depth look at your chart, or to sign up for the Inner Journey program, which is 12 monthly one-on-one sessions following the sun's transit through your chart, which reflects a journey of your soul growth. There's no better way to really experience your chart and your astrology. So if you're interested in that, all the details are on my website at cosmicdiaries.com/consultations, and I would love to work with you. With that, let's dive into the week because there's a lot to unpack here. We're doing a lot of growth, which may come with its share of growing pains, but really nothing needs to be difficult or hard this week. We can just stay present and flow with this energy. So as we enter the week, the 26th of June marked the first quarter, and the moon continues to move through first quarter phase on the 27th in Libra. And this is the halfway point between the Gemini new moon, which took place on the 18th of June, and the Capricorn full moon coming up on the 3rd of July. As this week progresses, the energy is steadily ramping up, and we're materializing the vision that was planted around the Gemini new moon. So this halfway point in first quarter phase, it's a chance to make adjustments, to make course corrections, to find our sea legs, and to find inner balance and inner harmony. Then we can steer our course consciously and make conscious choices, creative, loving choices moving ahead. On the 27th, the Libra moon also sextiles Venus and Mars. This energy is very creative, and at best we're finding harmony in our connections, and in financial situations as well, things may be balancing out now slowly, as well as creative projects and stuff where we can start to get on the same page with partners and important significant others in our life. That said, if you feel like you're wrestling with something, move inward to find balance and inner harmony and peace. Then it'll be easier to make those balanced choices and respond spontaneously and authentically. Drop the ego. You can connect from the heart. On the 28th of June, the moon will make a square to Pluto at 4:19 a.m. and then enter Scorpio at 4:56 a.m. here in New York. And the moon continues to make a series of aspects through the day. It'll trine Mercury, the Sun, Saturn, then it'll oppose Jupiter. But the major aspect on the 28th is the Sun in Cancer makes a trine to Saturn, which is newly retrograde in Pisces. There's a profound transformation underway. Relationships are evolving, financial situations are evolving, and there's a powerful personal transformation and resurrection underway. We're learning soul lessons, life lessons, and there's healing on offer. This is a chance to release emotional baggage and to surrender to the changes that are unfolding and to be guided by our intuition and to surrender to a mystery. As the Sun trines Saturn, things are certainly stabilizing. This is a chance to release the past. Certainly there may be waves of nostalgia that we're experiencing, and there may be undercurrents of the past that are still tugging at us, but recognize that the more we can stay in the present now, we can bring about a powerful resurrection. Neither the past nor the future exist. All we have is this present eternal moment. It's notable that we're moving from the Gemini new moon to the Capricorn full moon. Gemini is the sign of duality, and Gemini, it could be easy to live in the past or the future. Whereas as we move to Capricorn full moon, Capricorn is the sign that rules time itself. And we're in the process of closing old chapters and writing new chapters. That ability to stay present is very important, especially with Venus and Mars in Leo. Mars is also the ruler of the current moon in Scorpio. With the Sun in Cancer, Moon in Scorpio, Saturn in Pisces, this is very passionate and emotional and watery energy, like a whirlpool of energy. What matters is that we channel it effectively to feed our energy effectively into what matters to us, so there can be a sense of stabilization. That said, if you feel like you're caught in a whirlpool of emotion and you feel like you're drowning or in too deep, then a level of awareness is called for to bring yourself back to the present moment and to get grounded in the present moment. In relationships, bonds are deepening. Remember your lessons, but let the past be water under the bridge as we move ahead. Also, if at all you're experiencing any sense of lack, whether it's financially, emotionally, materially, be conscious to now not feed into that sense of lack when so much is opening up for us. There's very real potential here. Saturn retrograde in Pisces, there's a need to perhaps examine where we need to lower our walls and readjust boundaries and consciously readjust limits so we can allow in more of the support and well-being and prosperity and abundance, an infinite pool of unconditional love and inspiration, creative inspiration that's available to us. Because on the 30th of June, this process continues. The moon will square Mars, trine Neptune, make a sextile to Pluto in the morning, and also Mercury trine Saturn. So the Sun and Mercury are moving very closely in Cancer, and we're just continuing to have conversations and reach a deeper understanding of our relationships, of situations, of ourselves. And there are important truths that are crystallizing. And this is a chance to renegotiate arrangements so they really work for us. What's needed is the mind shift. Let go of perceptions of how we think things should be or how we think things are. Then we can allow ourselves to be revealed the truth and get to the bottom of a truth. Avoid projections and assumptions and seek clarity. Then you can learn what you need to know, because there are very important insights and truths coming to the surface. Because later on the 30th of June, the moon enters Sagittarius at 10:59 a.m., which is a truth-seeking sign, suggesting a need for perspective and objectivity as we seek that higher truth and greater truth. Especially because later that day at 5:06 p.m., very significantly, the planet of magic, cosmic consciousness, divinity, but also glamour and illusion and fantasy, Neptune is in Pisces, its home sign, and Neptune stations retrograde at 5:06 p.m. on the 30th of June. So with everything else that's happening, it's almost like a veil is being lifted. We're seeing things in a new light, perhaps seeing things more clearly. There's magic in the air, and don't discount the presence or the ability to witness small miracles at this time. Moon in Sagittarius is also in a very spiritual sign, and Neptune in Pisces, this is very spiritual energy. It's a matter of us being open and being able to invite in serendipity. If we can trust that intuition and inner sense of knowing whatever it is that we need, we can be guided almost magically to the right place at the right time. And really, there's something about this energy that feels like a wishing well to me, given the other aspects that are developing, because we're moving to a Sun-Mercury conjunction. So be careful what you wish for, because you have a good chance of getting it. Let go of surface appearances and recognize what any of us really want is to be happy. And that sense of infinite bliss and unconditional love that we seek is already within us. So this Neptune retrograde transit is really a time to dive inward. Deepen your meditation practice, your spiritual practice. Dive into art and music and find soulful, replenishing experiences. If you're feeling drained or foggy, or if you're feeling confused, or feeling the heavier, murkier aspects of this energy, then this is a chance to pause, to seek depth, to find clarity, rather than jump to assumptions or conclusions. Wait for a fog to clear, because we are reaching clarity and a moment of truth So this is a chance to let go of our illusions and disillusionments and any disappointments, so we can really tap into the sublime, infinite, creative, unconditional love that this universe has for us. The way the aspects are unfolding, we could be making dreams come true. What's important is we're open and being receptive, because on the 1st of July, the Sun will conjunct Mercury, and then the Sun-Mercury conjunction will sextile Jupiter. And this is profound and huge and expansive. Sun-Mercury conjunction marks a moment of truth, a moment of deep clarity, and it's important above all that you're being honest with yourself first and foremost. Then all else can flow from that. Also, there's a very good chance that at the time of a Sun-Mercury conjunction that we have an audience or an important conversation with someone in a position of power who can shed a light on our current situation, or shed a light on our potential even, or bring us this moment of deep insight. So pay attention to the conversations you're having and really listen to what's being said, and pay attention to the insights that are surfacing up from within you. Cancer rules represents our basic necessities, our innermost needs, our needs for food, water, shelter. It represents mothers and children and the bond between them. It represents our ability to feel safe and nourished emotionally, physically, materially, financially, spiritually, on all levels. This is very emotional energy, and we're having perhaps deep emotional conversations and learning new depths of our own emotions. Don't be afraid to acknowledge your needs, at least to yourself. Current aspects suggest whatever it is that we need, help is close at hand and within reach. As the Sun-Mercury conjunction also connects with Jupiter, there are major opportunities arising. We're having profound conversations, coming to deep realizations, materializing something we've long perhaps hoped and dreamed of, or seeing that opportunity well within reach. And these are opportunities arising for tangible growth in our material circumstances, in our emotional connections and relationships, as well as just our life circumstances. This feels like an upgrade. Also, very notably, the Sun and Mercury made a trine to Saturn in the past few days, and today they sextile Jupiter. These are harmonious aspects. But this is significant also because at the time of the Gemini new moon, Saturn and Jupiter were in a sextile. So it's like the seeds that were planted around this new moon are now slowly materializing, and we're seeing a vision come to life. We are learning the power of our minds to create our reality. As you move through this week, and 30th of June, the 1st of July, be honest with yourself and pay attention to the insights and the messages that are coming through from within and in the conversations that you're having. Don't underestimate the power of kindness and generosity and compassion and sensitivity and wisdom to bridge a gap. Relationships are deepening in a profound way, and we're perhaps seeing partners and others in a whole new light. Maybe we're seeing different sides to people that we've never seen before, and maybe we're seeing different sides to ourselves that we haven't seen before, discovering new depths of emotion. There's a need for discernment and for honesty, starting with ourselves, so we aren't repeating patterns or projecting illusions onto situations. If you need something, be willing to ask. People aren't mind readers, and sometimes all it takes is communicating how we feel without any expectations of how something will be received or reciprocated. The universe is always listening. Just let go of attachment to what form or where the help comes from, and trust what you need will be given to you, whether it's materially or emotionally or in terms of connections. Have faith in the journey, trust the process, and be humble. Then trust you will learn what you need to know and can be guided as you move ahead. This is also very lucrative energy, and our bonds are deepening in a very profound way. Don't underestimate a small act of kindness or even a small kind word. It could be life-changing and change someone's world and have ripple effects in ways that you could never even imagine. But the same goes for any negativity we put out into the world. And if we're feeling emotional or insecure or defensive or still holding on to past hurts, we could be in danger of reacting in ways that we don't really want to, or say something we don't really mean. So when in doubt, be kind. And if you can't be kind, then be kinder and take the high road. And sometimes saying nothing may be best. That level of wisdom, depending on what situation you're dealing with, and discernment is necessary. Flow with this energy as best as you can. It could be easy to bite off more than you can chew. So just move with this energy slowly. Then you won't be in danger of over-promising and under-delivering. As long as we're true to our values and being honest with people who matter, we can trust that the right things will follow. So later on the 1st of July, the moon in Sagittarius trines Venus late at night, 11:22, and then trines Mars early on the 2nd of July at 5:18 a.m. And later that morning, Venus squares Uranus at 10:33 a.m. on the 2nd of July. This is major, and this is a breakthrough in our relationships and all matters ruled by Venus, which is love, money, beauty, finances, creativity. This is also a continuation of the story that's been playing out all week, because Mars was square Uranus at the time of the first quarter of the moon. We're making breakthroughs in our relationships as well at this point, and the energy is very passionate. But just remain detached. More than anything external, this is like an inner breakthrough, and we may be surprised to acknowledge some of our own desires right now. But dare to acknowledge how you feel to yourself, because there's a need to drop the mask and be really authentic and true to yourself, your values, and your integrity. Without that, we have nothing, especially as we're moving to this Capricorn Full Moon on the 3rd. And the moon enters Capricorn at 1:19 p.m. on the 2nd of July. And then on the 3rd, the moon will sextile Saturn, trine Jupiter, and then reach full moon at 7:39 a.m. And then later will also oppose Mercury on the 3rd of July. And then 4th of July, the moon continues through Capricorn, making a trine to Uranus, sextile to Neptune, and conjunction to Pluto. The energy is steadily rising, and there's a smoldering intensity in the air and a deep and powerful transformation underway. We may be learning bittersweet lessons, but consider these growing pains and this a soul purification to extract what's most precious and golden within us, so we can evolve to a place to a peak of consciousness, which is what Capricorn really represents on the subtlest level. This is the holiday weekend here in the US, so a very happy 4th of July to you. I'll be in San Francisco, but I'll be thinking of you wherever you are. And in the spirit of Capricorn, please enjoy and celebrate responsibly. That said, this seems to be a very elevated and luxurious 4th of July weekend. Capricorn is a sign of authority, of government, of structure. It is the sign of material success and worldly success. As this full moon aligns, it will make these series of aspects and finally make a conjunction to Pluto. And this is major because Pluto is newly re-entered Capricorn on the 11th of June after being in Aquarius since the end of March. Also since then, Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, moved from Aquarius to Pisces and is now newly retrograde. So a lot has shifted over these past few months. And these past few months have given us a glimpse into what's coming up next year. This full moon in Capricorn is a chance to make adjustments and to dismantle any lingering conditioning that prevents our progress, especially in the area of our life ruled by Capricorn. So pay attention to where, Capricorn falls in your chart and Cancer falls in your chart. There's a need for maturity now and sensitivity and stepping into a place of greater authority and power and responsibility, at least in our own lives. We can't change the past, but nor would we really want to. These are lessons that we had to learn, and now this is the moment to evolve consciously into a new chapter. Full moons bring endings, but every end is a new beginning, and especially with this full moon making a conjunction to Pluto at the end of the transit, or rather as its last aspect, there's a very profound resurrection underway, and there's something powerful resurrecting from the ashes of the past. This is a historic lunation. The world is changing. We're going to see major developments in the news. And our lives are changing shape and shape shifting before our eyes. Hopefully, over this past 2 weeks, you've learned how much power and authority you have to make these changes. And change always comes from inside out. So, this is about reclaiming our power rather than trying to control the world or situations around us. In the same vein, no one and nothing can have power over us unless we give it away. Ultimately, we're all just human, equally deserving of respect. And even people in positions of authority and power are there because society in some way, shape, or form has put them there. And we may or may not be able to change the world, but in changing ourselves, the ripple effects could be more powerful and transformative than you realize. It's a chance to reclaim power, but then to recognize that with that power comes responsibility. We're each learning how to take responsibility for our corner of the world and to do our duty, to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. So this is a moment of incredible growth, which means there may be growing pains and maybe bittersweet lessons that we're learning. But the more humble we can be elevated to a new stage and chapter of our lives. And this is significant given, as I mentioned, this is also Guru Purnima, one of the most auspicious full moons of the year. Guru is the teacher. Gu means darkness and Ru means light in Sanskrit. And Guru is one who takes us from the darkness to the light. This is a very powerful time to deepen your spiritual practice and to meditate, and even if it's just for a few minutes, to spend time in prayer or out in nature or in some way connecting with your inner spirit as you self-reflect. Capricorn also represents our goals, and this is an ideal time to reflect on your goals, your life goals, and what brings you a sense of purpose. Don't be afraid to reevaluate the ambitions you've outgrown and to let go of the ambitions you've outgrown. And really reevaluate what brings your life that sense of purpose. Then you can deepen and solidify your foundations and stand tall in your integrity, because life is changing, the world is changing, you are changing, and our relationships are certainly evolving to a whole new level. We're closing chapters and we're beginning new chapters. And this is a chance to rewrite history in a way, or at least understand it in a new light so we can move ahead more consciously in awareness of what we are creating and what we're leaving behind, especially when it comes to any historic patterns or emotional patterns that we need to grow out of. Relationships are certainly evolving, and especially if there's been any patterns of codependency or historic pain and hurt or toxic attachments or any power struggles we've been caught up in, there can be a real transformation, but there has to be the willingness to surrender any attempt to control situations and to really allow that change to come from inside out rather than expecting anyone else to change. These are patterns that are historic patterns and perhaps that come out of childhood trauma or childhood experiences or generational trauma and conditioning. We're letting go of all this ancient conditioning surrounding relationships, success, failure, and wherever you have Capricorn in your chart. Then with time, because Capricorn rules time, then with time, trust that what's right for you will evolve with you, and the connections that are right for you will evolve with you. For now, this is just a humbling moment and a growing moment for all of us. As you can see, it's a massive week. Don't discount miracles. Just stay true to your integrity, noblest goals. Then you can trust the universe supports your efforts and will come to your aid as you manifest your dreams. So, a quick recap of the week. June 27th, the moon is moving through Libra. We're still at the first quarter of the moon. It's time to make adjustments, find your sea legs, and the moon will sextile Venus and Mars. So we're making connections in our relationships, finances, and creative situations are hopefully opening up, and we're finding a balance here. Mercury is newly in Cancer. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but Mercury is newly in Cancer, so hopefully communication can start to flow and we can start to express our emotions more clearly. But that said, Cancer can tend to skirt around situations and issues. So what's important now is that we're being really honest with ourselves and seeking clarity with ourselves. Then we can communicate honestly with others. And of course, there's a need to be vulnerable and to drop the ego and the mask so we can connect on a heart level. 28th, the moon enters Scorpio early in the morning and makes a series of aspects, and the sun will trine Saturn. This is very stabilizing energy, and there's a profound transformation underway emotionally, financially, in our relationships, personally. And we're resurrecting, we're releasing the past, and we're learning our lessons, but it's time to let go of a weight that we've been carrying and to lower our guard and defenses so we can allow in more of the abundance and support and prosperity that we desire. 29th of June, the moon continues to move through Scorpio, and through the early 30th of June, it'll move through Scorpio. It'll make series of aspects to Venus, oppose Uranus, square Mars, trine Neptune, sextile Pluto. Also on the 30th of June, Mercury trines Saturn. So with the moon in Scorpio, this transformation continues. The energy is passionate. There are unexpected developments taking place. Acknowledge your desires and the desires arising within you, rather than trying to control others or manipulate situations. Then you can show up authentically and have honest conversations and clear communications to really reach a deeper understanding and bridge a gap, and to renegotiate arrangements so you have more clarity and support within them. To release emotional baggage that weighs us down. Moon enters Sagittarius on the 30th of June at 11 a.m. and the energy shifts. There are important truths coming to light. We're feeling more optimistic at best. And Neptune stations retrograde at 5:06 p.m. on the 30th of June. So this is major, and this is very spiritual energy. So there's a need for faith. And it's almost like we can manifest I don't want to say manifest miracles, but don't discount miracles right now. Just be conscious that you're not chasing something hollow and empty and shiny. It's important that we're seeking depth and soulful experiences and exchanges, letting go of our illusions and ideas of how we think things are or how we think things should be, and allow ourselves to be revealed the truth. Because on the 1st of July, the sun meets Mercury in a conjunction, and then Mercury and the sun will sextile Jupiter, and there are powerful truths coming to light, deep insights coming through. We're having conversations. Relationships are deepening profoundly, and the energy is passionate but sensual and earthy and lucrative and fertile and emotional. And the 2nd of July also, Venus will square Uranus. So 1st and 2nd, as we ramp up to this 3rd of July full moon, the energy just keeps rising. Emotional energy just keeps rising. Discernment is needed so we don't bite off more than we can chew. And there's a need for wisdom. Move slowly. Anything that's right for you will be for you. Just remain detached. Be true to yourself. Be authentic. And lead with the heart. Then once the moon enters Capricorn on the 2nd of July at 1:19 p.m., it will then continue through Capricorn on the 3rd and 4th of July and be at the full moon at 7:39 a.m. on the 3rd of July. So big revelations coming through. Take time to clarify your goals. There's a need for maturity, for responsibility, to let go of old past baggage. And especially if we've been feeling weary and tired, then this week in this full moon, really there's a sense of being able to breathe a little after having reached a peak and seen things from a new vantage point. And now we're dismantling old conditioning that we no longer need, or unburdening ourselves of a weight that we no longer need to carry. And yes, this may sound like a tall order, whatever is being asked for us right now, but trust you have what it takes to rise to a challenge. And as long as you're making an effort towards your noblest goals, the universe will support you. If there's one thing you take out of this forecast, it would be find your integrity, dig deep for your integrity, and let go of the rest. It doesn't matter what the world thinks. And success and failure, only you can define what that means to you. So let go of society's standards and expectations of, or definitions of success and failure. Then you can really reconnect with your life purpose and what you came here and incarnated for. That's what we're really trying to do right now. And this is soul growth. Wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, we're evolving to a new level, and it's a chance to leave the past behind so we can create space for the future that we are building here and now and moving ahead. So I'll stop here for now, and I'm sure that's a lot to digest, but that's kind of what this week is bringing us. It's a lot to digest, but clearly the universe thinks we're ready for it, so here we are. On that note, I'll stop, but a quick reminder again, the inner journey and solstice sale for consultations is on till the 30th of June. I will be traveling from the 29th of June till the 5th of July. I will have some access to my email. I will be checking in daily, of course, but I am going to try and take at least a couple of days off to be in silence and meditation as I spend time with Amma for Guru Purnima. But so if you email me, please be patient as I get back to you over that weekend. But other than that, if you book a session, I will get back to you as soon as possible, and we can schedule in the coming weeks after I get back from New York. And if it's urgent, of course, do mention that, and I'll do my best to get to you sooner than that. But thank you as always for listening. I wish you a very happy and blessed full moon and Guru Purnima, and I hope this week is kind to you, and you're kind to yourself, and gentle with everyone around you. Till next time, this is Priya signing off. Namaste.